Hi there guys, welcome back. This is Devil Cube Tutorials here, and welcome back to the second video on low poly modeling series. And in the first video we learned to create a simple car, and we're going to be going a little advanced over here in this tutorial, and we're going to be learning to model a truck. So we're going to be using a little bit more techniques to achieve this truck. So let's see how we're going to create this truck. So my first step that I always do, change my render settings. So change it to 1280 by 720. And then let's go grab a cube. And I'm going to change my display to grower shading lines so you can see the lines. I'm going to set the segments of X to 2, and on the segments Y to 3, and my Z to 3. Okay, so once we do that, we want to make this thing editable. So we're going to hit C on the keyboard, and we're going to go to the polygon mode. We want to select these 4 polygons, and we want to drag these out. So to say something like -170 on the Z. And then we want to press UL. We want to select this set of polygons. We want to hit T on the keyboard, and we want to shrink this down pretty much. So maybe I want to set the Y of this to 25. And then we're going to select it and move this down. So let's set this down to say something like -30. Okay, I like it. Looking good. Okay, and then we want to just go delete the font tag because we don't want any bendiness or sharp or smoothness. And we want to go select these 2 polygons, and we want to extrude them out. So we just want to extrude it a little bit, and then we want to go and set the Z value to say something like -220. Okay, like that. Actually, let's Control Z that. We want to select these 2 polygons as well, and then set this to let's give it an extrude. Oops, we're going to give it an extrude and set this to -220. Okay, after that we want to go select these 2 points on the edges, on the corners, and oops, let's Control Z that. Let's zoom in. We're going to select this point as well, and we just want to bring this down. So we're going to set this to say something like -33. And then we want to press UL to get the loop selection. We want to select this middle loop, and we want to bring this down. So we're just going to make sure that it's going the halfway. So if we go into our front view, we can actually approximately position it. We just want it exactly half. Okay, that sounds good. And we're going to press T on the keyboard, and we want to scale this out on the Z. So I think I'm going to go with a value of 220 on the X. Okay, kind of like it. Okay, and after that, what we want to do is we want to go and press UL, and we want to grab these points. We want to move it in. So let's say around I think -10 would do. And then let's press UL and select these points, and let's move. Oops, we want to select all these points, everything, and we want to move this in. So we kind of want to have the same distance between these 2. So I think I'm going to set this to 15 because I think that looks perfect. Okay, then let's go and create the windows. So we can go to the polygon tool. We can select these 3 polygons, and we can select this one by holding down Shift. And I'm going to press I on the keyboard, give it an offset of 6. I'm going to press D on the keyboard and give it an offset of -4.5 maybe. And then let's leave it like that. We can actually even go and create a selection by going to set selection. I'm going to name the selection Windows. Okay, then let's go and model up the headlights. So we're just going to go select these 4 polygons, and we're going to hit I on the keyboard, and this time we want to make sure that we don't check preserve groups. And then when we hit I, you can see that it kind of happens like this. But that's not what you're trying to achieve. So let's just grab only these 2, and let's check preserve groups this time, and we can scale this in. So let me give it an offset of let's say 6, and we can go and do the same here, give it an offset of 6. Then we can select these 2 polygons, hit D on the keyboard, and then we want to give it an offset of -5. And then let's press I on the keyboard and give it an offset of 6 again, and let's press D on the keyboard. And I think a 6 is going to be pretty too much, so I'm just going to go and give it an offset of I extrude inner, give it an offset of 5, and then press D on the keyboard and increase the offset. So we would probably want to give something like 6, and then we want to hit UL, and we want to select, hold down Shift and select these two edges, and then we want to go and oops, actually we screwed that up. So with this polygon selected, we do not want to click anything. We want to unclick, and then we want to select the cube, and then we want to go and select these corners, and then let's go and hold down Shift and select these, and then we want to go and choose set selection, and we want to call this headlights. Perfect. Next, let's go ahead and create the handles. So we want to select this polygon and hold down Shift and select this polygon, and we want to make sure that we are not selecting any of these polygon selection tags. So we just want to go and select this one and this one, hold down Shift, and then I'm going to hit I on the keyboard to get the inner extrude. I'm going to give it an offset of 20, and I'm going to hit T on the keyboard, and I'm going to scale this thing in. So probably set this to like 25. Let's set this to 20, and then we can go and move this thing back. So probably give it an offset of -60, and then hit D on the keyboard, give it an offset extrude of 4. Let's actually give it 5. Okay, and then we will hit UL on the keyboard. We want to hold down Shift and select this polygon. We want to go and move it to the side and grab this polygon, and then we want to go to select, set selection, and this time we want to call this handles. Okay, and we just want to click away, to take not taking the risk of selecting these polygons again. Okay, next let's go and model the indicator. So okay, we're going to go select this polygon over here and this one, and then what we want to do is we want to go and let's see, extrude it inner. So we want to give it an offset of, say, something like 15. Let's actually give it something like 16. I think 16, yeah, whatever, anything. And then we will hit T on the keyboard, and we just want to scale this thing in. Actually, we want to scale it on this axis like that, and scale this in a little much, something like that. Okay, and then we'll hit D on the keyboard and give it an offset of 3, not too much. And let's actually give it an offset of 2. And then you want to press UL on the keyboard, hold down Shift, select this polygon, and then you want to go and select this polygon, and then you want to go to select, set selection, and call this indicator. Okay. Okay, so now we can go and rename this cube to front, and then you want to go and start modeling the back. So in the back, we're going to be using simple stuff. So let's go and let's go to our right view. So by hitting F3, and then I'm going to go and just create a rectangular spline. I'm going to set the height of this to 200, and then I'm just going to move this out like that. So probably around 220, and then I'm going to go and make this thing editable. And then I'm going to go to the points mode. I'm going to select these 2 points, hold down Shift, and I'm going to move these things up. So let's move it up to, say, 150. Okay, and then I'm going to select this point, and then I'm going to right click and choose chamfer. So what chamfer does, it allows you to smooth out by giving a roundness to the spline. So if I increase it, you can see it's nicely chamfering. So I'm just going to give it a chamfer radius of, say, 50, and then we can go and extrude this spline. So I'm just going to go and grab an extrude NURBS. I'm going to drag the rectangle spline inside the extrude NURBS, and if I go into my front view, we see that we have something that looks like this. But the thing is, it is not extruding on the correct axis. So to do that, we're going to go and set the movement on the z-axis to 0, and we're going to change the movement on the x-axis to 100. And now we have something that looks like this, but we want it to be on the other side. So I'm going to set the movement of this to 200, and then I'm going to go take this rectangular spline, make sure that I'm in the model mode, and I'm going to go to the coordinates, and I'm going to set the z-axis to 110. Oops, sorry about that. We're going to go and move this on the x-axis, so we're going to set this to minus 110. Oh, actually not 110, we just want to set this to minus 100. There you go. So now it's kind of exactly on top and beside the truck. Okay, after that we want to go into the extrude knobs and we want to add in some caps. So let's add fillet cap. We want to keep the steps of this to default. Okay, and let's actually go and take this spline and move a little bit to the side. So say something like 225. Okay, that is looking perfect. And then let's go to the extrude knobs, and we want to go and set the isopalm subdivision to 9. Let's actually set it to 10. And under the rectangle, we want to go and change the intermediate points to subdivided. And then we're going to go and set the angle of this to 90. And we're going to set the maximum length to 22. So now if you see here, you can see it's not proper sharp. I'm going to set it to 20. And let's actually set this to 25. Okay. So now we see here that it's not exactly straight. It's low poly, basically what I'm trying to say. So let me just go and delete the font tag, which gives it more low poly realismness. And before we make this thing editable, we just want to go and give some subdivisions at the back. And I'm going to set the subdivisions of this to 4. And then we want to hit this button to make it editable. And we want to go and drop down everything. We want to select all this, right click and choose connect objects plus delete, and that makes it a single object. And then we can take all these selection tags and ditch them because we don't want, and we can call this the back. Okay, and then one thing we want to do before going ahead with this is we want to go and select the points mode, press Ctrl A, select all the points, right click and choose optimize, and then we can delete this font tag. Okay, there we are. So next thing we want to do is we want to go and into the polygon mode. We want to select these these polygons. Now if you are having trouble with selecting it because the selection radius is too much, you can click on this live selection. You can actually increase and decrease the radius. So this is big radius and this is a tiny radius which you probably can't see. So I'm just going to set this to 10 as default for now because I'm pretty okay with it. Actually, I don't want to select the ones on the side. And we want to go and select these two layers only. Hit D, give it an offset of 5. Okay. Okay, so next let's go and select these two, only these 4 polygons. Hit D on the keyboard, give it an offset of 5. Press I on the keyboard. Let's actually Control Z that. With these selection, we want to give it an extrude inner amount of 5. Well, let's actually set that extrude inner amount to 4, and then press D on the keyboard, and we want to give this an offset of -5. Then press D on the keyboard, give it I. Oh my God, sorry. So let's start over all again. So the offset, an extrude inner of 5 centimeters. And then an offset on the extrudes to say -4 centimeters. And then let's press I again to get the extrude inner and give it an offset of 4 centimeters. Or let's actually set this to 2 centimeters. Let's actually set this to 3. Okay. And then we're going to hit D on the keyboard and give it an offset of 5 centimeters. Okay. And then you can press UL on the keyboard to get the loop selection. And we're going to hold down Shift and select these loops. And then we can go to select and set selection, and we can call this tail lights. There we go. So we have a selection tag over here. So now the great thing is if you double click on the selection tag, it automatically selects the polygons. That's the use of a selection tag. Also, what we want to do is we want to go create another selection. So let's double click on, let's just select the back, go to a polystone, and we're going to select all these polygons except the ones which we already create a selection for. So I'm going to press UL, I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to go and hold down shift and select these ones. Be careful to not select unnecessary ones. So let's go here. You want to select these and the ones on the inside. Okay, we don't want to select any ones on this side. Let's zoom back, and then let's select these two polygons. Sorry, not these two, all of these. And then we're going to go and to select set selection, and I'm just going to call this back. I don't know, I'm just going to call this back. Okay, let's go further. Okay, so let's finish this up with creating some wheels. So let's make it simple pretty fast. So just go and it's the same thing which I had made in the how to model a low poly car tutorial. So I'm just gonna go ahead with it pretty quick. You guys can go check out the other tutorial, the low poly car tutorial, if you guys want a detailed description. Anyways, let's go and grab a cylinder. I'm going to set the rotation segments to 10. I'm going to set the height to 5. I'm going to set the radius down to 10. And I'm just going to pull this thing out. And I'm going to set the orientation to plus X. I'm going to set the radius down to 30 actually. Okay, and let's go and make this thing editable. And then once we make this editable, we want to go and select all these points. Sorry, all these polygons. Why do I keep saying points? We're going to select, oops, we're going to select these as well. And then we want to bevel them. So we're going to press MS and we're going to bevel this out. So let's say we give it an offset of 10 and 10. So we want to give it offset of 10 and an extrusion of 10. Okay, and then we want to press I on the keyboard and we want to give it an offset of 3. Hit D on the keyboard, give it an offset of 3, minus 3 actually. Hit I on the keyboard again, give it an offset of 2, and press D on the keyboard and give it an offset of 4. Okay, and then we can press UL on the keyboard and we can go and select this polygon over here and this ring of polygons, and we can go to select set selection, and we can just call this inner wheel or something, whatever you think feels right. And then let's just go and position this thing. So let's go into our right mode, and we want to bring this down, and we want to push it up to the side like that. And let's go into our top view, and we will push this thing pretty in. So let's go into our perspective view so we get a better clear idea. So we can actually move this thing in like that, kind of send it halfway in over the top. And what we're going to do is we want to go and grab a symmetry. So we're going to drop the cylinder inside the symmetry, and it automatically creates one on the side. So we want to make sure the mirror plane is ZY, and then we want to go and grab another symmetry, and we want to drag the symmetry inside the first symmetry, and we would just want to go to the main symmetry and set the mirror plane to XY, which puts it on this side. And if we go into our right view, we can actually go and position this thing. So we want to go and select the middle symmetry. We want to move it out. And then we want to go and select the main symmetry, and we will just want to move this in. I think a little bit more, push it more in. Yeah. Let's actually go and push this out. Select the main one and push that in. Okay. So now if we go into our perspective view, we see we have this cool thing. So how to texture this thing? Pretty simple. We just want to go grab a material. You want to uncheck the specular. We want to go to the reflection channel, and we're going to set the brightness down to 25. I'm going to just set it to 20 just in case. And then the only thing we need to do is we're going to duplicate this and start coloring this up. So let me just go through this very quick. So let's make this a black color first, and we're just going to go and chuck in on the wheels, and let's duplicate this. We want to go and make this to a white color. We actually want to go and let's make this white, and we're going to go and drop it on the front over here. Oops, wrong spelling. And we're going to go select our Windows selection tag and drop it on that. Let's make a duplicate of this again. We want to make this an 80% to gray, and then we're going to go drag this and drop it on the wheels, and we want to drop the selection tag here. And then what we want to do is go make the tail light. So let's duplicate this. Let's go to the tail lights, and we're just going to make this a nice red. Drop it onto the front. No, you want to put it on the back because that's where the tail lights are. And let's go and just choose this tail lights and drop this on that. What else do we have to do next? Okay, let's duplicate this. We can go make this the front light. So let's go choose a nice yellow orange color. We can drop this on the front, and let's drop in the headlights. And now we want to go duplicate this and create an orange color for the indicator. So let's just move this thing in like that, and let's go take this, drag this on, and let's choose the indicator and put that on. So we have the indicators now lit up. Now let's make the color for the front part. So let's duplicate this material, and we want to go and make this to a nice like a peach kind of a color. So like that. I'm going to drop this in on the front. I'm going to make this the first material. Let's duplicate this, and we want to go and change this to a kind of a pinky purple, some kind of a love line, and there we go. But this is overlapping our layers, so let's just want to drag this front, and then let's go drag the black material on the back, and we want to put in this back selection tag. Okay, so I think that is pretty much it, how to create this low poly truck in Cinema 4D. So if you guys want to know how to light the scene, just please check out my tutorial link, which I'll put up on the screen and in the description, so you guys can check it out. And thank you guys very much again for watching, and I hope to see you in other future tutorials. Till then, take care, bye bye, and have a great time.